Pro Comp qualifying. That motorcycle is like Leach. That was Jim McClure on the judge. Pro Comp is a high 8, low 7, heads up category. It's for the pros. It's not quite what you brung, but it's close. Neal Lane now, Darlington, South Carolina, to run Jim Cooper of Norwalk, Connecticut. Neal, number 1 qualifier. You met him in the parade lap. Jim Cooper, the number 9 qualifier. Bike says quick and this fast. Reaction time is everything. The time that it takes between the green light comes on and the rider leaves the starting line. Both of them trying to catch the turbos on the high side. It's neck and neck, wheel and wheel. Jim Cooper at the finish line is your winner from Norwalk, Connecticut. Takes a 7:89, 163 against an 8:14 for number 1 qualifier Neal Lane. John Sachs now of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, number 5 qualifier, scheduled to run Gary Davis of Greeley, Colorado, number 13 qualifier. But even though there are 3 alternates standing by, it turned into a solo pass when the competition couldn't show. John Sachs got the win by default, 8:31, 154. Rick Hawk now. Rick to run David House. Rick is from Farmersville, Ohio. Beamsville, Ontario, Canada is David House's hometown. It's going to be cow against cow in this run situation at Norwalk Raceway Park. Canadian against American. And the American is your winner. Rick Hopped an 8:31, 160.71 against an 8:38. Now it's Steve Drake of Xenia, Ohio, to run Willie Weimer of Chicago, Illinois. Steve is number 7 qualifier. 15 is Willie Weimer's position. And Willie couldn't show either. It's turned into a solo pass for Steve Drake. None of those alternates standing by, ready to run 8:41, 159. And he's trying to lay down a good time, so he'll have lane charge for the next pass. Here come the judge. Jim McClure out of Newport News, Virginia, with the meanest, baddest looking Harley Davidson in the whole wide world, to run Mike Sinski of Lancaster, New York. Jim is number 2 qualifier. Sinski is number 10 qualifier. Theory goes with the Harley. Let's see if it happens in practice. Harley's your Neal Lane machine. And McClure's out of the gate and bad. Little smoke when he changed gears, but he's got it. McClure's run 8:09 at 163.93 against an 8:79. 7/10 of a second difference on that run for the judge. Next pair out, Willie Foster, Pompano Beach, number 6 qualifier, is scheduled to run Jim Pygon, number 14 qualifier, but Pygon is broke, so Rich Neese, first alternate, does come out of the alternate's position to make the run. First time an alternate has been ready. The other 2 alternates, Dodich and James, just didn't make it. He's in the far lane, Foster in the near lane. Reaction time is going to tell the difference on this race. Normally aspirated near lane. Great lead for both bikes, but it's Foster's run because Neese shuts down. Foster an 8:38 against a 10:80 shutdown pass for Neese. Joe DeSantis now to run Floyd Hunts. Joe is from Sharpsburg, Pennsylvania, number 12 qualifier at the Firecracker Nationals. Floyd Hunts from Buffalo, New York, was number 4 qualifier, and once again, we've got a no-show. Floyd is not able to make the run on the double-engine triple, and so it's a default run for Joe DeSantis. Good smooth run at 8:56, crossing the finish line at 149.01 miles an hour. Now the last pair out in the first round, and it's Bob Spina of Brentwood, New York, on a Harley Davidson number 8 qualifier to run Jim Schumacher, number 16 of Schenectady, New York. Schumacher in the far lane, Spina in the near lane. You got a cow in the far lane, Harley in the near lane, and at the finish line it is the quarterfinals now. Once again, heads up class. Pro Comp the second quickest class if you're looking at overall times, right after Funny Bike. Jim McClure versus Willie Foster. McClure is your number 2 qualifier. Foster, your number 6 qualifier. It should be McClure's win. The judge from Newport News, Virginia, coming out of the gate looking great. An 8:07 win for Jim McClure against Foster's 8:26. And Bob Spina now, another Harley Davidson against Joe DeSantis. DeSantis on a Kawasaki. Spina on a Harley Davidson here at Harley Park. Bob Spina cut the best line and got your win with an 8:21, 160 miles an hour against DeSantis. Shut down 14:31. Jim Cooper now. Jim from up in Norwalk, Connecticut to run John Sachs. Cooper riding himself a Kawasaki. Sachs riding a Suzuki. Sachs from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A great lead for both riders. Watch this now. It's going to be great. Reaction time in the O's for both of them. An 05 for Sachs and 06 for Cooper. And at the finish line, it's Cooper the winner, a 7:89 against an 8:38 for Sachs. Rick Hoffman rounding out this round. Steve Drake is his competition. Hoft is the number 3 qualifier. Drake is the number 7 qualifier. Hoft on a Suzuki, Drake on a, it's Drake on a Suzuki and Hoft on a Kawasaki. At the finish line, Steve Drake, your winner at 8:29 against a 9:36, sort of a shutdown run for.
Now, semifinals and
Pro-Com semifinals coming up at Norwalk Raceway Park for the Firecracker Nationals. Steve Drake to run Jim Cooper. Jim Cooper was the number 9 qualifier at the Firecrackers. Steve Drake was the number 7 qualifier. Theoretically, Steve Drake should be your winner. Steve knows he's got to get a good light, got to leave. And it's a red light for Steve Drake. Jim Cooper's going to get your win automatically by virtue of that red light. An 8:06 for Cooper against an 8:29. Shutdown for Drake because he had seen red when he came off the starting line.
Well, it's kind of been more fun for me if they hadn't had to meet each other until maybe the final run. All us old guys that used to identify with Harleys always like to hear Harleys run. Any Harley fans out there?
Here come the judge.
More people voted for him than Jim McClure had.
Phyllis McClure jogging out to the starting line to pick the spot for husband Jim on his Harley Davidson. Newport News, Virginia, their hometown. Bob Spina also on a Harley Davidson. Bob is from Brentwood, New York. Spina was number 8 qualifier. McClure was number 2 qualifier. Theory once again says it's McClure's run all the way. On previous runs, McClure had an 8:09, an 8:07. Spina had an 8:38, an 8:21. It's McClure's win. McClure takes your win with an 8:05 against Spina's 8:25. No question who's the favorite with the crowd. It's number 2 qualifier, Jim McClure. Jim Cooper, who is the number 9 qualifier, upset number 1 qualifier, Neal Lane in round 1, meets McClure in the final run. Cooper is from upstate New York, McClure from Newport News, Virginia. Harley Davidson under McClure. Kawasaki under Cooper. Uh-oh, smoke out of McClure's machine. And it's Cooper the winner, a 7:89 against the Harley's 8:07.